I spent the entire day today outside with my dad rebuilding part of my fence because fences fall down. I don't know. What do you guys want?
Yeah, I had a fence fall down one time because of a hurricane. It was actually like a little mini tornado that was in my backyard because of the hurricane that was, I don't know, a couple miles away. And so like only part of that fence was able to be just like put back up. Like it did take down chunks and move them around, but there was parts that I had to actually like rebuild by hand. And so I'm like taking the plank and putting it up and right, and then take the next one and put it up, like nailing it into like the bar going across. And I'm being so precise. I'm like working real hard on stuff. And all of a sudden I notice that like there's this major slope to the fence. It's just like going upward.
It
was bad.
We had to replace like 10 or so of the pickets because they just had started warping. I had a point to this, John. You made me forget it.
I just like how your fence was picketing.
So my fence is made of these stupid, they're French Gothic pickets. So they have like a little curve and a little pointy point thing at the top. And it's just, they're the stupidest shape in the world. Like if you tried to shove one in the places we talked about last episode, it wouldn't work. It would be extremely uncomfortable. But
okay, hold on. Yeah. Wait, hold on a second. Are you saying that things of other shape being shoved in those places would just go just
select
fine?
A fence when you go to buy a fence?
Yeah, so when
you go into Home Depot and you're like, you have ribbed?
Could it be a fence or a sex toy?
This is the problem. If you go to Home Depot and you go, all right, I'm going to be productive today. I'm going to be a contributing part of society. I'm going to fix this fence that's half falling over to all my neighbors. It looks really stupid. I'm going to be productive. Go to Home Depot. You go to Home Depot and you go to this guy and he goes, hey, and I go, hey, you know where the fence pickets are? Like, so I'm not just walking around the wood section all day, right? And he's like, yep. And then he kind of turns around and he like walks really, really slow in a direction. You're like, do I follow that guy? And he just walks you halfway across the store to walk up to a lady who goes, where's the fence pickets? And then he proceeds to turn you around and go all the way back, only to find out that the only shape of fence pickets that Home Depot sells are dog ears, and you have French Gothic, right? The dog ears probably would fit a little bit better. I mean, they're still a little bit flat, probably still a little bit like wood, but so not only did my dad and I have to put all these up, we had to cut them one by one with a jigsaw to create the shape and also look at it and go, yeah, that looks like it'll fit right. Yeah, welcome to None of Us Are Qualified, the advice show where no one should give advice. Adam wrote a really good thing, though, so he should probably read it.
Before I do, I'm not a fence guy. Like I don't know anything about fences or fence shapes. But like when you say French Gothic, do you like, all I can picture is like you live in the Munsters house.
He does.
Is that true? Do you live in like a super Halloween-y kind of house?
I mean, if you isolate the fence, you could say that.
If you just look at the fence, you're like straight up out of the Addams Family.
Right. But nothing else about the house.
Okay.
Not a single thing else.
Gonna need some photos. Welcome to None of Us Are Qualified, the Bad Advice podcast, where each episode we take a question from our community and give you horribly misguided advice from three idiots who decided to create this podcast after our failed venture as a Bon Jovi cover band. If you have a question you'd like our advice on, you can simply reach out to us on threads at None of Us Are Qualified or our Gmail, Dave.
At noneofusarqualified@gmail.com.
Yes. Good job, Dave. Way to come through.
Wait till I have to try to remember the phone number.
Oh, Johnny, and our toll-free hotline.
1-800-DAVE.
Friends at work is today's topic.
Don't.
Oh man, this is a good one. This is a real good one. The three of us are clearly prepared to just regurgitate advice on how to make friends. My current workplace, where I've been working for about 18 months, is the first place I've ever worked where I feel like I can come close to being myself.
Run.
It's nice, but also it's very, very confusing. I don't know how to be friends with people I work with. Everyone I'm friends with now is an offshoot of the group of people that I used to hang out with in college. What do I say to my colleagues to invite them to be friends with me? I am genuinely socially clueless. Feel like this is a softball for Dave. Dave, you're socially clueless, right?
Yeah, no, absolutely not. I have no friends. Don't.
Don't?
Just don't.
You're the shortest episode ever.
Well, that was nice.
Because here's the thing. Let me break it down for you. I'm going to give you some real advice for a second. We don't really do that, but I'm going to do it right now. You like your job currently. You like the people you work with, don't you? Stay right there. Just stay right there. You don't want to know these people. Once you know all about who they're texting, whose partners they're texting behind your back, you won't want to be their friends anymore. All right?
People are meant to be observed from afar, right? Like the wildebeest. Just park yourself in a tree with some binoculars and observe from the outside. Johnny, what do you think?
So I'm in kind of a weird position with this one because
I'm right.
Two things.
No.
One, well, I mean, I don't know yet. I'll tell you in 18 months. No, one, I have very few local friends, and I am actively trying to find local friends. And as an adult, where you're not like your kids aren't playing in like organized sports things that you're meeting other people, it is impossible to meet people. Like the one friend I have, which I think I mentioned on the last episode, is my son's best friend's mom. And it just so happens that her and I also get along pretty well, right? I have gone to bars alone. I have gone to breweries alone. I've gone to other bars alone. I've gone to a bar alone. I went to a brewery alone. And I haven't met a single damn person. Like, I've talked to people. Yeah, I know. Exactly. I tried to look up a thing for some place that was hosting like board games. Guess what? It didn't exist.
That's at least when there was a local bar that had like a rock band night. Doesn't that sound like the most fun ever, Adam? It was just going to be like a rock band night, and you're like, oh man, they're going to set up plastic instruments. We're going to play rock band. It's going to be great. That's what they were advertising, right? And you show up, and you're the only person who showed up.
What?
Well, we do call Dave the one-man band.
It was sad. It was sad. So I sat at the bar
and drank. Social mixer, and you were the only one there?
Yeah. So I sat at the bar and got drunk alone. That bar is called Side Quest. It closed now. It was.
I can see why.
So the other part of this is like for the first time in many, many years, like I'm at a job where I love the people I work with. Now, granted, normally I work alone, and yes, I do have to love myself, but I have like a coworker I work with a bit, and then I have a couple other ones, including my boss, that every other week I go down usually to where they're at and do stuff in like their area. And like I like my boss. He and I talk about like work stuff, but we also talk about like random life shit. I like the other guys that work down there. I would not say any of them are friends. I would invite any of them over. If I have a barbecue, which I hope to have sometime this summer, they are all invited. But like, they're not the people that I am going to like be hanging out with. And especially like my boss is phenomenal, but like there has to be that like, that like work-life separation to some extent, right? And you can have a really good friend through work. Like one of my really good friends, her best friend, or one of her really good friends, is a work friend, and that's great. But they're also teachers, so that works.
You can
out
have
really
a
well that way.
really good work friend who's your friend at work.
Yeah.
That's it.
Do you think
That's great?
Do you think it's impossible, Dave? Is it impossible to merge those two worlds?
I don't think it's impossible. I think it just gets weird.
It depends on the situation, though, right? Because one of my other best friends, I have this scattering of people I refer to as one of my best friends. None of them live near me, mind you. Don't worry,
Okay,
Dave. You
good.
fit.
I had to make sure.
Adam, you're working your way up the ladder. But like he and I met at work. Now, granted, it was a different situation. We were in the Navy. We were on a submarine, right? That is a different world of like going out to sea with someone and being around them all the time than it is I'm going to the office today.
You live with them more than you live with anybody else. They are, despite the fact that I hate this comparison, but they are more family than they are coworkers.
Some of them, it's like that family you can't get rid of and you just absolutely hate. And you're like, you're going to the family reunion. And you're like, I don't want to see this person. I had a lot of that.
I'm in the position where, and it's going to come back to me being old again, but I am much older than the people that I work with immediately at my job. I'm in a supervisor role, and it's just a bunch of younger people. And it's like, I get along with them, and I don't think I'd have any connection with them outside of that work environment. We have a great time at work. They're great people, but I have zero interest in associating with them once I leave the door at work. I mean,
they would also, if you became too close to friends with them, they would hear the stories that are on your other podcast.
Oh, they wouldn't like that.
Yeah, they wouldn't like that
at all.
Well, okay, so Adam, let me ask you this, right? Because you and I are within a year of the same age, right? I believe. Do you think that it matters with the age gap, right? Because of some of my very, very good friends, right? Dave is Dave, how old are you right now?
32.
Okay, so Dave is 10 years younger than me.
Yeah, it's getting there,
right?
Adam.
I think Ben is like 8 years younger than me. And he, these are two of my favorite people in the world. And there's someone else that I can't think of right now that's also good bit. The one guy I work with all the time
he can't even think of them, Adam.
Yeah. Well, the other guy I work with is no. You and I are close in age. The other guy I work with, and you're still on the ladder. The other guy I work with, who he and I could be friends enough, we could hang out outside of work. He's 14 years younger than me.
Mm-hmm.
So do you think that affects it for you? Now, take out the fact that you're a manager over these people. Remove that aspect.
I think when you're younger, you don't see the differences as much in the generations. But when you are on that other side of the spectrum and you're looking at people 10, 15 years younger than you, you realize how different you are, both in the way that your lives are structured. Like, I'm married with kids. These people go out to the bar and the club and all this shit. There's that obvious logistic difference, that barrier that's like, it wouldn't even work because I have to coordinate seeing you with taking my kids to soccer and karate and gymnastics and, whatever. But also just the way they view the world is not wrong, but so different from the way I view the world that I feel like the more exposure that I would have to these people, the more fundamental differences I would see, which would make me like them less.
So I'm realizing that out of tragedy comes opportunity, right? So two things in my life allow me to counter the problems that you just had. So one is I was in the Navy for 12 and a half years. I feel that the second I went in the Navy, my maturity, my ability to age maturely stopped until I got back out. So I'm actually 12 years less mature than I am in real life. So that allows me to be on that mature level with someone who is in that 12 years younger than me range or closer. Then I got divorced and I only had my kids half the time. So now I have every other week that I got free schedule. So Adam, I think the key
is divorced.
Yeah. Stunt your maturing and get divorced.
I'm not the one with the problem this week. We're trying to make this person friends. You're telling me to. Yeah,
Adam.
Yeah,
Adam,
Johnny.
Are we sure? Are we sure? You're not. Are you sure?
I mean, I've got plenty of problems, but I thought that would at least be like an anniversary episode. Like we do a special. We do a special bonus episode where we brought our problems.
Oh my God, that would be such a bad episode.
He's so terrible.
Those are patron exclusive episodes.
Yeah. Dave, how long are you gonna let that beard grow?
No, it's out of control. It's a
really
problem.
Is just healthy.
Listen, I was going to trim it before we got on this show, but I was working on the fence all day.
Okay. What's your situation with people at your work, Dave? Do you have people? Do you have people
avoid
that
them
you,
avoid them like the plague?
Yeah, because you don't like them, or because you're
No, okay.
protecting your heart?
Let's be fair. There's a couple people that are all right. They're cool. They're cool, but they're
Mhm.
also they're 10 years younger than me,
Yeah.
right? Yeah,
12.
Listen, child labor is a thing. No. That makes it less.
We can get buttons made, legalize
Only in
legalize
Ohio.
child labor.
Look, the reality is the people that you're cool enough with at work are good enough to be cool enough at work, and once the line gets crossed out of there, it gets a little bit weird. It gets a little bit fuzzy. Gets a little bit questionable why you're doing those things. Like I've played games and stuff like online games. Like we played Among Us with coworkers and stuff. Like that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
I went to a friend of mine's baby diaper party, whatever you call those.
Baby
It- they
diaper
get
party?
diapers.
Were you wearing the diaper?
Please, no. I need to hear.
Yeah.
This is a-
Oh,
and
Did you have a
bunch of
giant pacifier?
his coworkers were there, and they all and three of them had the same name as me. One of them had the exact same name as me.
This sounds
That-
hot.
It was kind of weird.
wait, hold on. Did you have your name
We
written
just
on the
played
diaper you
that
were wearing?
demon game where you like try to kill each other. The whole
Oh my god. Okay. So at first my thought was that Dave went to a baby shower of some sort, but now I really want to know what a
This
baby
is a straight
diaper
up
party
sex
is.
dungeon thing.
Oh my god, of the weirdest kind. Like I know someone who recently admitted to me they have like bad daddy issues to like the extent that they would put on a diaper. Yeah, it was a weird conversation.
was it Ben?
And no. It was a female
That's
friend
even
from
more
my long
concerning.
time ago past that I was just
All right.
chatting with.
And
Yeah, well. So,
Okay.
so Dave, please, before you,
it's a
what
party you
is it?
have before your friend has a baby. It's for all the guys to come drink beer and give them so much diapers that they'll have diapers for the first 3 years of that baby's life.
This is not a thing. This
This is
not a thing.
100% a thing. You're both old.
Thank you, Adam. Thank you, Adam, for
This was a
new-
lure.
It's
I did
This
look
was
back up.
something you'd see on Dateline.
because women get
This is something that they're like, okay, the women get their baby showers, and the men are feeling left out, so we're all
They
going to
don't
wear
wear
diapers and
diapers.
show
Nobody's
up and
Play
drink
the
beer.
demon game. Don't forget the demon game.
I don't remember what that game is called.
Is that what you call when
Yeah,
you like
that's-
shit your diaper?
Mhm.
The demon game.
Then you take it off
Anyway.
and you smear it on the other guy named Dave.
I want to be a
Anyway.
rogue.
That was a coworker party. None of those people were my coworkers, but it was a little weird.
So we know why Dave doesn't make friends. Johnny, where should this person go? We're telling them the thing is
Dude, if I knew the answer to that question, you know how many friends I would have? Because I'm a social person. I will talk to anybody. I talked to someone
Listen,
yesterday at a brewery.
You need
not
to
someone who's
get
gonna be
back
a
on
friend.
X, right? Allow your DMs to be open, which is what John did. Okay,
They
allow
are.
your DMs to be open, and when a guy calls you and says, "Hey, let's make a podcast," you're gonna talk to me for 45 minutes with a hole in his ceiling. That's how you make friends.
That's how Dave and I became friends. But that doesn't help this person in this situation because you and I still live a million miles away.
Yeah, but then you came here years later
Okay.
and helped me rip out carpet of my brand new house. And by new, I mean it's new to me. But
Yes, and
very old.
why is it that everything Dave says sounds like gay sex innuendo?
Are you saying? Well, he's got to rip out the carpet
'cause I'm
before the
younger.
colonoscopy.
Carpet.
I mean, that's what we call
Hole in
waxing
the
our assholes,
ceiling.
right?
You gotta
Yeah.
fill that hole. So, bringing this to a close,
Please.
don't make friends. You're just gonna end up like this. You're gonna end up sitting in your basement, talking about things you shouldn't be talking about, while your wife sits upstairs, putting the kids to bed, rethinking her life choices.
Show off.
Just don't. better off that way. Dave, you got a plug?
Yeah, check out the Snack Network. We taste new snacks on the internet. That's a thing.
Thanks for watching and listening to this episode. None of us are qualified. Join us next week when we discuss what to do when you're caught peeing in the park. Have a great week, and remember, none of us are qualified.